Frank Lampard.
Frank James Lampard is an English professional footballer, who plays as a central midfielder for Chelsea and the England national team. He is the vice-captain for Chelsea and the club's all-time leading goal-scorer. He is considered by some journalists, and some current players, to be one of the best midfielders of his generation. Lampard is a box-to-box midfielder known for his work rate, range of passing and goal-scoring ability. Lampard began his career at West Ham United, for whom his father Frank Lampard, Sr. had also played. He secured a place in the first team by the 1997-98 season, and the following year helped the team finish fifth in the Premier League, their highest ever Premier League placing. In 2001, he moved to rival London club Chelsea for £11 million. From his debut, he was ever present in the Chelsea first team and made 164 consecutive Premier League appearances, a record for an outfield player. He established himself as a prolific scorer at the West London club and was a key part of the sides which won back-to-back Premier League titles in 2004-05 and 2005-06 and a domestic cup double in 2007. He signed a new contract in 2008, becoming the highest-paid Premier League footballer at that time, and scored in his first Champions League final that year. He won a second FA Cup winners' medal in 2009, scoring the winning goal in the final. In the 2009 October season, Lampard helped Chelsea secure their first League and FA Cup double, and also had his most prolific season with the club, scoring 22 league goals and 17 league assists. In 2012, Lampard captained Chelsea to their first UEFA Champions League success and a year later to their first UEFA Europa League title. A three-time Chelsea Player of the Year, Lampard is the club's all-time top goal-scorer with 211 goals in all competitions. Lampard is one of 7 players, and the only midfielder, to have scored 150 or more goals in the Premier League. He is second in the Premier League's all-time assists table, behind Ryan Giggs. In 2005, Lampard was voted FWA Footballer of the Year and was runner-up in both the FIFA World Player of the Year and the Ballon d'Or. In 2010 he received the FWA Tribute Award. Internationally, Lampard has been capped over 100 times by England since making his debut in October 1999, and has scored 29 international goals. He was voted England Player of the Year for 2 consecutive years in 2004 and 2005. He played in Euro 2004, where he was named in the team of the tournament after scoring 3 goals in 4 games. He was top scorer for England in their 2006 World Cup qualifying campaign with 5 goals, and played in the 2006 World Cup. He is England's most prolific penalty taker with 9 goals, surpassing the previous record holders, Ron Flowers and Alan Shearer.
Club career: West Ham United.
Lampard began his career at West Ham United, his father's former club, joining the youth team in 1994, his schoolboy hero being West Ham striker, Frank McAveney. Lampard joined West Ham when his father was the assistant coach, entering as an apprentice in the youth team in 1994 and signing a professional contract the following year. He went on loan to second division Swansea City in October 1995, debuting in his team's victory 2-0 over Bradford City and scoring his first career goal in a match against Brighton and Hove Albion. Lampard played 9 times for Swansea before returning to West Ham in January 1996.
1995-96.
Lampard made his debut for West Ham on January 31, 1996 against Coventry City, coming on as a substitute for John Moncur. His only other game of the season was the season's last, on May 5, 1996, a 1-1 home draw with Sheffield Wednesday when Lampard was used as a substitute for Keith Rowland.
1996-97.
The following season Lampard made his first start for West Ham, on August 17, 1996, in a 2-0 away defeat to Arsenal before being substituted by Robbie Slater. Lampard's season ended on March 15, 1997 when he sustained a broken leg during an away 0-0 draw against Aston Villa. Carried from the pitch on a stretcher, his 31st-minute substitute was Rio Ferdinand. The game also saw his first booking as a West Ham player. Lampard claims to have been jeered from the pitch by West Ham United supporters, an action which made him consider leaving football. He had made 16 appearances in all competitions for the Hammers.
1997-98.
From this season Lampard took the number 18 squad number, having previously held the number 26 spot. On the first day of the 1997-98 season, West Ham opened their fixtures with an away game against Barnsley, who were playing in the top tier of English football for the first time in 110 years. Lampard came on as a 76th-minute substitute for Eyal Berkovic. Barely a minute later he scored what was the winning goal in a 2-1 win for the Hammers, having received the ball from Michael Hughes and flicking it past Barnsley goalkeeper David Watson. The season also saw his first hat-trick. On November 19, 1997, West Ham played Walsall in a League Cup, fourth-round game. Lampard's 3 goals plus another from John Hartson were enough to beat Walsall, who responded via a goal from Andy Watson. Lampard made 42 appearances for the 1997-98 season in all competitions, scoring 9 goals.
1998-99.
Lampard was an ever-present for West Ham in the 1998-99 season, helping his team to 5th place in the Premier League and qualification for the Intertoto Cup.
1999-2000.
Before the start of the season Lampard signed an extension to his contract which would have kept him with the club until 2005. Having qualified for the Intertoto Cup, West Ham's season started early, in July 1999. On July 24, 1999, Lampard scored his first goal in European football in a 1-1 away draw with Finnish side FC Jokerit. Another goal in the semi-final against SC Heerenveen put West Ham into the final against FC Metz. Despite losing the first leg 1-0 in London, West Ham won 3-1 in France on August 24, 1999 with goals from Trevor Sinclair, Paulo Wanchope and from Lampard. Winning the competition saw West Ham in the 1999-2000 UEFA Cup. Lampard scored his first goal in this competition on September 16, 1999, in a 3-0 home win against NK Osijek, a tie which they won 6-1 on aggregate. This season also saw West Ham beat Bradford City 5-4 at Upton Park in February 2000. The game received notoriety for Lampard's fight over the ball with Paolo Di Canio. With West Ham 4-2 down they gained a penalty. Lampard was West Ham's regular penalty taker. However, Di Canio wanted to take the kick and the two tussled over the ball, with Di Canio winning and scoring to make the game 4-3 to West Ham. In the 1999-2000 season he finished as the club's third top scorer, behind Paolo Di Canio and Paulo Wanchope, with a total of 14 goals.
2000-01.
In the 2000 January season, West Ham's form suffered. They spent most of the season in the bottom half of the Premier League table. From 5th place the previous season they finished 15th. Despite this, Lampard scored 9 goals in 37 games behind only Frederick Canet and Di Canio. In May 2001, his uncle, Harry Redknapp, left the club by mutual consent after 7 years in the role. His father, Frank, also left the club, and Lampard, under the pressure of being known as Frank Lampard's son, and the poor treatment of his father by West Ham, decided to move to another club. He left West Ham United for Chelsea for £11 million in June 2001, the Hammers having previously declined a picosecond £15 million joint bid from Aston Villa for Lampard and Frederick Canet.
Chelsea 2001-2004.
Lampard's Premier League debut with Chelsea came on August 19, 2001 in a 1-1 draw with Newcastle United, while his first red card came in a match against Tottenham Hotspur on September 16, 2001. Lampard appeared in all of Chelsea's league matches and scored 8 goals in the 2001 February season. He netted the match winner in Chelsea's 2002 March season opener against Charlton Athletic. The following season, he was selected as the Barclays Player of the Month in September 2003, and the PFA Fans Player of the Month in October. Chelsea finished second in the 2003-04 Premier League behind unbeaten Arsenal, and he was named in the 2004 PFA Team of the Year as he reached double figures in league goals, 10, for the first time in his career, in addition to 4 goals in 14 UEFA Champions League matches, as Chelsea advanced to the semi-finals. In the semi-final against Monaco he scored, but Chelsea lost 5-3 on aggregate. At the end of the season he came second, behind Thierry Henry, for the 2004 FWA Footballer of the Year award.
2004-05.
Lampard played in all 38 Premier League matches for the third consecutive season in 2004 May. He finished with 13 goals, 19 in all competitions, in addition to leading the league in assists with 16. In August 2004, he scored the winning goal against Southampton in the league, and continued scoring important goals as he scored both in a 2-0 win against Tottenham. In March 2005 he scored a long-range goal from 30 yards against Crystal Palace in the Premier League which Chelsea won 4-1. Lampard continued his season strongly, and his brilliant performances for Chelsea in the Premier League and Champions League further increased his reputation as one of the best midfielders in the world. In the 2004-05 UEFA Champions League he scored one of the goals in Chelsea's famous 4-2 win over Barcelona, helping Chelsea to progress to the quarter-finals. In the quarter-finals, he scored 3 goals in 2 legs against Bayern Munich as Chelsea won 6-5 on aggregate. His second goal in the first leg was a spectacular one. He controlled Makelele's cross with his chest, then turned and swiveled and sent the ball inside the far post with a left-foot half-volley. In April 2005, Lampard scored both goals against Bolton Wanderers in a 2-0 win which was the Premier League title-winning match for Chelsea, which also won the first major trophy of his career as Chelsea bagged their first top-flight title in 50 years, by a 12-point margin. He was named as Barclays Player of the Season for 2004 May. Though Chelsea were eliminated in the Champions League semi-finals by league rivals Liverpool, they took home the Football League Cup, in which Lampard scored twice in 6 matches, which included the opening goal against Manchester United in the League Cup semi-final, which Chelsea won 2-1. He landed his first personal award by being named the 2005 Footballer of the Year.
2005-06.
He netted a career-high 16 league goals in 2005 June, and was a Premier League record for a midfielder to score goals in one season. In September 2005, Lampard was selected as a member of the inaugural World 11. He finished as runner-up to Ronaldinho for both the Ballon d'Or and FIFA World Player of the Year awards. His record of consecutive Premier League appearances ended at 164. 5 better than previous record holder David James, on December 28, 2005, when he sat out a match against Manchester City due to illness. Lampard scored 12 goals in his first 4 months of the 2005 June season. He scored twice in 3 separate matches from August to November, including both in a 2-1 win over Aston Villa, making Chelsea the first team to win their first 7 matches in the Premier League. He scored twice again, this time against Blackburn Rovers in a 4-2 win, which included a free kick from 25 yards. After the match, manager Jose Mourinho hailed Lampard as the best player in the world. Chelsea eventually won the Premier League for the second time, in which Lampard was Chelsea's topscorer with 16 league goals. In the Champions League group stages, he scored a free kick against Anderlecht. Chelsea progressed to the first knockout round to face Barcelona, with Lampard scoring a goal in the second leg, but Chelsea were eliminated 3-2 on aggregate.
2006-07.
Due to a back injury sustained by John Terry, Lampard spent much of the 2006-07 campaign as team captain in his absence. He enjoyed a streak of 7 goals in 8 games. He scored both goals in a 2-0 win over Fulham and scored his 77th goal for Chelsea from a long-range strike in a 3-2 win over Everton on December 17, overtaking Dennis Wise as Chelsea's highest-scoring midfielder. Then in the UEFA Champions League group stages he scored a goal from an extremely tight angle against Barcelona, at the Camp Nou. The match ended 2-2. Lampard finished with 21 goals in all competitions, including a career-high 6 FA Cup goals. He scored his first Chelsea hat-trick in the third-round tie against Macclesfield Town on January 6, 2007. He scored 2 goals to help Chelsea to a quarter-final draw with Tottenham Hotspur after having trailed 3-1, and he was named the FA Cup Player of the Round for his performance. He gave the assist to Didier Drogba in the 2007 FA Cup final, which was the winning goal in extra time, as Chelsea won it 1-0. In a post-match interview following Chelsea's FA Cup final victory over Manchester United, Lampard said he wanted to stay at the club forever.
2007-08.
Lampard's 2007 August season was hampered by injury. He managed to play 40 matches, 24 of them in the Premier League. This was the fewest number of league games he had played in a season since 1996-97. On February 16, 2008, Lampard became the 8th Chelsea player to score 100 goals for the club in a 3-1 FA Cup fifth-round win over Huddersfield Town. After the final whistle, Lampard removed his jersey and flashed a T-shirt to the Chelsea fans with 100 not out, "They are all for you, thanks" printed across the front. On March 12, 2008, Lampard scored 4 goals in a 6-1 rout of Derby County. Then in the Champions League quarter-final second leg he scored the winning goal against Fenerbahce in the 87th minute as Chelsea won 3-2 on aggregate. On April 30, Lampard, grieving the loss of his mother a week earlier, decided to play in the second leg of Chelsea's Champions League semi-final against Liverpool, who were eliminated on 4-3 aggregate as he took an emotional penalty in the 98th minute of extra time, which he scored confidently. In the final against Manchester United, he scored an equalising goal in the 45th minute, as Michael Essien's deflected shot found him as he went to the box with his trademark late run, and he scored with a left-foot finish. The match ended 1-1 after extra time and Chelsea eventually lost 6-5 on penalties. He was later named UEFA Club Midfielder of the Year.
2008-09.
On August 13, 2008, Lampard signed a new 5-year contract with Chelsea worth £39.2 million, making him the highest-paid Premier League player. He started the 2008 September season by scoring 5 goals in his first 11 league matches. He scored the 150th goal of his club career with a goal against Manchester City in the Premier League. In October 2008, in the Premier League he scored a chipped goal against Hull City with his left foot. He unleashed a chip from 20 yards that curled and swerved and fooled the goalkeeper as it went into the net. World Cup winning coach Luis Felipe Scolari said after the game, "It was the best goal I have seen. My vote for World Player of the Year award will go to him. Only a player with his intelligence could have done that." He scored his 100th career Premier League goal in a 5-0 victory over Sunderland on November 2. 18 of Lampard's 100 goals were penalties. He was named Premier League Player of the Month for the 3rd time in his career in October. After a streak of matches without scoring, Lampard scored 3 goals in 2 games, the first being against West Bromwich Albion and the latter 2 against Fulham. On January 17, 2009, he made his 400th Chelsea appearance against Stoke City, scoring a stoppage-time winner. He again scored a stoppage-time winner, this time against Wigan Athletic. Then in the FA Cup 4th round, he scored a free kick from 35 yards against Ipswich Town. He scored twice against Liverpool in the second leg quarter-finals of the Champions League which ended 4-4, but Chelsea won 7-5 on aggregate. Then he provided 2 assists in the next game against Arsenal in FA Cup semi-finals which Chelsea won 2-1. Lampard finished the season with 20 goals and 19 assists. Manchester United manager Alex Ferguson heaped praise on Lampard saying, "Frank Lampard is an exceptional player, a huge asset to Chelsea. You pay attention to players who can get goals from midfield and he's been averaging 20 a season. You don't see him getting into stupid tackles or making a habit of becoming involved in silly rows." He remained restrained after Chelsea were knocked out of the Champions League by Barcelona and even made a point of swapping shirts with Andres Iniesta. Lampard's 20th goal of the season was the winning goal in the FA Cup final against Everton, with a left-foot shot from long range. He repeated the corner flag celebration his father had done after scoring the winning goal in the 1979-80 FA Cup semi-final second leg against Everton. It was the 4th consecutive season that he scored 20 or more goals. He was later named Chelsea's Player of the Year for the 3rd time.
2009-10.
Lampard started the 2009 October season by scoring against Manchester United, in the 2009 Community Shield, in the 72nd minute. The match ended 2-2, and Lampard scored in its penalty shootout which they won 4-1. He scored his 133rd goal for Chelsea in a Champions League match against Atletico Madrid on October 21, 2009, which moved him up to 5th among the club's all-time goal scorers. He had been struggling to score the amount of goals he had in the past seasons, however this soon changed as he scored 2 goals in the 5-0 defeat of Blackburn Rovers on October 24, 2009. On October 30, he was nominated for the FIFA World Player of the Year award for the 6th straight year. On December 16, Lampard scored a crucial 79th-minute winning goal against Portsmouth, and on December 20, Lampard scored a penalty against his former club West Ham in a 1-1 draw, however he had to take his spot kick 3 times due to players running into the box too early. He nonetheless scored all 3. In Chelsea's 7-2 thrashing of Sunderland in January 2010, Lampard scored twice to add to his league tally. On January 27, 2010, Lampard again scored 2 goals, in Chelsea's 3-0 win over Birmingham City in the Premier League. On February 27, Lampard yet again scored twice against Manchester City, but despite his contribution Chelsea went on to lose the game 4-2 at home, for the first time in 38 games. Lampard, for the 2nd time in his career, hit 4 goals in one match against Aston Villa on March 27, 2010 to bring his goal tally past 20, for the 5th consecutive season. This also brought him his 151st Chelsea goal, and it put him as the club's 3rd highest scorer ever, overtaking Peter Osgood's record of 150. Lampard scored in a 3-0 win, again over Aston Villa, in the 2010 FA Cup semi-final. Lampard reached 20 league goals for the first time when he scored twice against Stoke City in Chelsea's 7-0 win on April 25, 2010. This milestone also represented the first time he had hit 25 in all competitions in a season. On May 2, Lampard scored against Liverpool in the second-last game of the season to give Chelsea a vital 3 points that took them to the top of the league by a single point. He scored 1 and assisted 2 other goals in the final match of the season where Chelsea thrashed Wigan Athletic 8-0 at Stamford Bridge to win the 2009-10 Premier League title and give him a remarkable 27 goals in the season. Lampard ended his season lifting the 2010 FA Cup as Chelsea beat Portsmouth 1-0 in the final.
2010-11.
The 2010 November season began brightly for Lampard, being an integral part of Chelsea's system as usual. After a match against Stoke City in August 2010, which Chelsea won 2-0, it was revealed that Lampard was suffering from a hernia, which was successfully operated on. However, he suffered fresh injuries during training in mid-November, and remained sidelined for a further 3 weeks. Manager Carlo Ancelotti said that he injured his abductor muscle in his leg in training on November 11, and would not be fit until December. He finally made his comeback after 4 months out injured against Tottenham Hotspur on December 12, as a substitute in the 75th minute. Lampard scored a penalty in the 3-3 draw between Chelsea and Aston Villa on January 2, 2011, the first after returning from injury. On January 9, Lampard scored twice and gave one assist in a 7-0 win against Ipswich Town in the FA Cup, reaching the landmark of 201 career club goals. On February 1, Lampard scored a penalty against Sunderland, then produced an assist, with Chelsea ending up winning the game 4-2. Lampard then assisted for Nicolas Anelka in Chelsea's 2-0 victory against Copenhagen, in the round of 16 match in the Champions League. On March 1, Lampard scored the winning goal in a crucial 2-1 victory over Manchester United, keeping Chelsea's Premier League title hopes alive. Then in the next game, he scored 2 goals in Chelsea's 3-1 victory over Blackpool, and also contributed with an assist for John Terry to score. In April 2011, Lampard scored his 11th goal of the season in a 3-0 victory against former club West Ham. Lampard scored again against Manchester United, but it proved to be only a consolation, as Chelsea lost 2-1 at Old Trafford, thus ending Chelsea's title hopes.
2011-12.
In Chelsea's third Premier League match of the season, Lampard scored his first goal of the season and also provided an assist for Jose Bosingwa's opening goal, as Chelsea beat Norwich City 3-1. After not featuring in Chelsea's 4-1 win against Swansea City on September 24, Lampard returned to the starting lineup for their Champions League group stage game against Valencia, netting an important opening goal in their 1-1 draw. Lampard continued his fine form by netting his 5th Chelsea hat-trick on October 2, in a 5-1 thrashing of Bolton. In the 11th round of the Premier League, Lampard scored the only goal of the match against Blackburn, with a diving header, giving Chelsea a win after 2 consecutive defeats. After starting the game against Manchester City on the bench, Lampard came on in the second half to score the winning goal from the penalty spot in the 82nd minute. Lampard again proved to be the match winner again as he scored in the 89th minute against Wolves, with the match finishing 2-1 to Chelsea. On February 25, 2012, Lampard scored his 10th league goal of the season in Chelsea's 3-0 win against Bolton, becoming the only player to score at least 10 goals in 9 consecutive seasons in the Premier League and his 149th all-time league goal. 11 days after the sacking of manager Andre Villas-Boas, Chelsea hosted Napoli in the 2011-12 UEFA Champions League round of 16 second leg, trailing the Naples side 3-1 from the first leg. Lampard helped Chelsea make a remarkable comeback, assisting John Terry from a corner for the second goal and then equalising the aggregate score from the penalty spot with a powerful shot to the left of the goal. Branislav Ivanovic sealed Chelsea's victory in extra time. In the second leg of the quarter-finals of the 2011-12 UEFA Champions League against Benfica, Lampard converted a crucial penalty to give Chelsea a 2-1 win at Stamford Bridge, and helping them advance with an aggregate score of 3-1. He scored the 150th Premier League goal of his career against Fulham in a 1-1 draw on April 9, 2012. In the semi-final of the FA Cup, Chelsea defeated Tottenham Hotspur 5-1, in a match that would be remembered for an infamous goal that never was awarded to Chelsea's Juan Mata. Lampard assisted Didier Drogba for the first goal, and also scored the 4th goal for the Blues from a free kick 35 yards from goal. Lampard was pivotal in the semi-finals of the 2011-12 UEFA Champions League against the heavily favoured defending champions Barcelona. Bookmakers had Barcelona on the shortest odds to win a second consecutive Champions League title, and various commentators opined that Chelsea would have to produce their best 2 games of the season, and hope that Barca played their worst 2, in order to upset the Catalan giants. In the first leg at Stamford Bridge, Lampard stripped Lionel Messi off the ball, then played a cross-field pass to Ramirez, who set up Drogba for the only goal of the game, giving Chelsea a 1-0 advantage. In the second leg at Camp Nou, Lampard assumed the captaincy after Terry was sent off early in the game. Down 2-0 to Barker just before half-time, Lampard assisted Ramai's goal with a through pass which levelled the aggregate score at 2-2 while putting Chelsea ahead on away goals. Chelsea teammate Fernando Torres added another goal in stoppage time to give Chelsea a 3-2 victory overall and produce one of the greatest upsets in the history of European football. This set up Chelsea's match with Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena for the Champions League final. In the 2012 FA Cup final, Lampard assisted Didier Drogba's winning goal in 2-1 win over Liverpool, the seventh FA Cup in Chelsea's history as well as the fourth of his career. Lampard captained Chelsea in the 2012 UEFA Champions League final against Bayern Munich, due to Terry's suspension. It was a match where Chelsea were considered to be the underdogs. After finishing 1-1 in normal time, the game went to a penalty shootout with Lampard successfully converting his team's third spot kick, helping Chelsea win 4-3 on penalties. As Chelsea's skipper for the match, Lampard lifted the trophy with club captain John Terry. Lampard ended the 2011 December season as Chelsea's topscorer with 16 goals in all competitions, along with 10 assists.
2012-13.
Lampard missed Euro 2012 with a thigh injury, but did play all of Chelsea's pre-season games, scoring against the MLS All-Stars and Brighton and Hove Albion in Chelsea's first game of the new Premier League campaign. Lampard converted a penalty won by Eden Hazard as Chelsea brushed aside Wigan 2-0. In Chelsea's second game of the season, 3 days later against newly promoted Reading, he again converted a penalty won by Hazard, as Chelsea cruised to a 4-2 win. On October 6, he scored his third league goal of the season in a 4-1 win against Norwich City. He marked his 500th appearance in the Premier League by scoring in a 8-0 win against Aston Villa on December 23. On December 30, 2012, Lampard scored a brace as Chelsea came from a goal down in the game against Everton to win 2-1. In the third round of the FA Cup, Lampard entered in the second half and scored a penalty in Chelsea's victory over Southampton. On January 6, 2013, Lampard's agent Steve Kuetner announced that Lampard would not be offered a new contract with Chelsea and would leave when his contract expired in June 2013. On January 12, 2013, Lampard scored a penalty in the 4-0 win over Stoke City at the Britannia Stadium. This goal made Lampard Chelsea's second highest goal scorer of all time with 194 goals and moved him clear of Kerry Dixon and putting him 8 goals behind Bobby Tambling in first. He scored his 199th goal for Chelsea in a 4-0 FA Cup victory over Brentford on February 17, becoming Chelsea's all-time leading FA Cup goal scorer with 26 goals. Lampard's 200th Chelsea goal came against his former club West Ham on March 17, 2013, heading home an Eden Hazard cross. He equalled Bobby Tambling's record with a long-range goal into the top left corner from just outside the box in the 61st minute in a league match against Aston Villa on May 11. Then, later on in the 88th minute, he scored a second goal, breaking the record and securing a 2-1 victory for Chelsea. In the Europa League final on the following Wednesday 15 May, Lampard captained the London club to a 2-1 victory over Benfica, securing the 11th major trophy of the Roman Abramovich era. On May 16, 2013, Lampard signed a one-year extension to his contract with Chelsea, stating, "I always maintained the dream was to stay at Chelsea."
2013-14.
On the opening day of the season, Lampard scored a free kick in a 2-0 win against newly promoted Hull City. On October 1, he scored his 205th goal for Chelsea in a 4-0 win away to Steaua Bucharest in the UEFA Champions League. On November 23, 2013, Lampard scored his 206th and 207th goal for Chelsea against his former club West Ham in a 3-0 win. Lampard moved to fourth on the all-time Premier League goal-scoring list on December 2 by beating Robbie Fowler's amount of 164 goals. On February 22, 2014, Lampard scored a stoppage-time winner against Everton, initially credited to John Terry but awarded to Lampard by the dubious Goals Committee, keeping Chelsea in first place. On April 2 he played his 100th Champions League game, losing 3-1 to Paris Saint-Germain. On April 5, 2014, Lampard scored 250th goal of his club career in a 3-0 win against Stoke City.
International career.
Lampard was capped by England at youth level before making his under-21 debut on November 13, 1997 in a match against Greece. He played for the under-21 side from November 1997 to June 2000, and scored 9 goals in 19 appearances, a mark bettered only by Alan Shearer and Francis Jeffers. He was capped once by England B, playing in a 2-1 home defeat to Chile on February 10, 1998. Lampard earned his first cap for England on October 10, 1999 in a 2-1 friendly win over Belgium, and scored his first goal on August 20, 2003 in a 3-1 win over Croatia. Lampard became only the 8th English player to earn his 100th England cap, doing so in a friendly match against Ukraine, on September 10, 2013.
Euro 2004.
He was bypassed for Euro 2000 and the 2002 World Cup, and had to wait until Euro 2004 to participate in his first international competition. England reached the quarter-finals with Lampard netting 3 goals in 4 matches. He scored against France and Croatia in the group stages, and in the quarter-final he equalised for England in the 112th minute against Portugal, bringing the scoreline to 2-2, but England lost on penalties. He was named in the team of the tournament by UEFA.
Post-Euro 2004.
He became a regular in the squad following the retirement of Paul Scholes, and was voted England Player of the Year by fans in 2004 and 2005. He was England's top scorer in their 2006 World Cup qualifying campaign with 5 goals. He scored 2 crucial goals in the qualifiers, the first against Austria in a 1-0 win, and the second, the winning goal against Poland.
2006 World Cup.
In England's first game of the tournament against Paraguay, Lampard was named man of the match as England won 1-0. Though Lampard played every minute of England's 2006 World Cup matches, he went scoreless as England were eliminated in the quarter-finals by Portugal on penalties, and he was one of the 3 England players who missed their penalties, alongside Steven Gerrard and Jamie Carragher.
2007-09.
He scored in a 2-1 loss to Germany in a friendly at the new Wembley in 2007. He was booed by England supporters while coming on as a second-half substitute during England's Euro 2008 qualifying match against Estonia on October 13, 2007, and finished with 1 goal, in a 3-2 loss to Croatia on November 21, as England failed to qualify for the tournament. He scored his first international goal in 2 years in a 4-0 win over Slovakia in March 2009, and also created another for Wayne Rooney. Lampard's goal was the 500th England goal scored at Wembley. On September 9, 2009, Lampard struck twice in England's 5-1 win against Croatia, which secured their place at 2010 World Cup.
2010 World Cup and wrongly disallowed goal.
In the round of 16 match of the 2010 FIFA World Cup against rivals Germany, Lampard had a first-half shot at goal that bounced off the crossbar and from TV replays was clearly seen to cross the goal line. If counted, it would have tied the game 2-2. However, neither the referee nor the linesman saw it as a goal, and play was continued. In the second half, Lampard hit the crossbar again, with a 30-yard free kick. The final score was a 4-1 win for Germany, eliminating England from the tournament. As England exited the 2010 FIFA World Cup, Lampard had already achieved the record of having made 37 shots on goal without scoring in a World Cup tournament, more than any other player since 1966.
Euro 2012.
On February 8, 2011, it was announced that Lampard would captain the national team against Denmark in a friendly played the next day after both Rio Ferdinand and Steven Gerrard were absent through injury. In the Euro 2012 qualifiers, Lampard netted 2 goals for England, both penalties. The first against Wales in a 2-0 win, and the latter versus Switzerland in a 2-2 draw, making Lampard England's most prolific penalty taker ever. In November 2011, Lampard captained England to a 1-0 friendly victory over current world champions Spain, a game in which he scored the only goal. On May 31, 2012, he was ruled out of the Euro 2012 due to a thigh injury. He was subsequently replaced by Jordan Henderson. On August 14, 2012, manager Roy Hodgson announced that Lampard would captain the Three Lions in their upcoming friendly against Italy the following day, which England won 2-1.
2014 World Cup qualification.
Lampard started England's first game in qualification and starred as England thrashed Moldova 5-0, with Lampard scoring his 24th and 25th England goals. His first goal was England's 100th ever penalty and his second was a header from a cross from Glenn Johnson. After Steven Gerrard was substituted, he captained the side. Lampard scored his 26th international goal from the penalty spot against Ukraine, equaling the amount of goals scored by Brian Robson. On February 6, 2013, Lampard scored the winning goal for England in a friendly match against Brazil at Wembley. On March 22, he surpassed David Platt as England's second highest scoring midfielder when he scored his 28th international goal in a 0-8 win over San Marino.
Personal life.
Lampard attended Brentwood School between 1989 and 1994, finishing with 11 GCSEs, including an A in Latin. His father is Frank Lampard Sr., the former West Ham United player and assistant manager who was still associated with the club when Lampard Jr. was playing for them. His mother Pat died in April 2008 aged 58 as a result of pneumonia. Lampard's uncle is Harry Redknapp and his cousin is Redknapp's son Jamie Redknapp. In 2000, Lampard, Rio Ferdinand and Karen Dyer appeared on a sex video that was filmed at the holiday resort of Ayia Napa in Cyprus. Channel 4 aired a brief clip as part of their 2004 documentary Sex, Footballers and Videotape, claiming it was used to remind the viewer that this is based on real life. On September 23, 2001, Lampard, along with 3 other Chelsea players, was fined 2 weeks' wages by the club for his behaviour whilst on a drinking binge on September 12. Lampard and the others had abused American tourists at a Heathrow hotel, just 24 hours after the 11th September attacks. A hotel manager stated they were utterly disgusting. They just didn't seem to care about what had happened. It was reported by Mensa that Lampard showed an unusually high IQ score during neurological research carried out by the Chelsea doctor, Brian English. English stated that Frank Lampard scored one of the highest set of marks ever recorded by the company doing the tests. In 2007, Lampard stated that he is a supporter of the Conservative Party. In February 2013, Lampard signed a deal with publishers Little Brown to write his own series of children's books called Frankie's Magic Football, aimed at youngsters aged 5 and over. The publishing deal was handled by Neil Blair and Zoe King, who also represent Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling. His inspiration came from his own undeveloped stories he reads to his own children every night.
Relationships.
Lampard lives in Surrey in London. He has 2 daughters with his former fiancée, Spanish model Ellen Rivas, Luna, born August 22, 2005, and Isla, born May 20, 2007. His autobiography, Totally Frank, was published in August 2006. In mid-February 2009, it was reported that Lampard and Rivas had split in November 2008 after 7 years together. Since October 2009, Lampard has been in a relationship with Christine Bleakley. On June 15, 2011, Lampard's engagement to Christine Bleakley was announced by his agent. On April 24, 2009, Lampard was involved in a radio confrontation with James O'Brien on the London radio station LBC 97.3. Newspapers had reported that following Lampard's split from Rivas their children were living with her in a small flat while Lampard had converted their family home into a bachelor pad. Lampard phoned in, objecting to criticism and asserting that he had fought tooth and nail to keep his family together.
Career statistics. International goals. Honors.
UEFA Intertoto Cup, 1, 1999, FA Premier League, 3, 2004-05, 2005-06, 2009-10, FA Cup, 4, 2006-07, 2008-09, 2009-10, 2011-12, Football League Cup, 2, 2004-05, 2006-07, FA Community Shield, 2, 2005, 2009, UEFA Champions League, 1, 2011-12, UEFA Europa League, 1, 2012-13.
Individual.
2005 FIFA World Player of the Year, Silver Award, 2005 Ballon d'Or, Silver Award, FWA Footballer of the Year, 1, 2005, UEFA Club Midfielder of the Year, 1, 2008, World 11, 1, 2005, PFA Fans Player of the Year, 1, 2005, Premier League Player of the Season, 2, 2004-05, 2005-06, Premier League 20 Seasons Awards, Premier League 500 Club, England Player of the Year, 2, 2004, 2005, UEFA Euro 2004 Team of the Tournament, Premier League Player of the Month, 4, September 2003, April 2005, October 2005, October 2008, Chelsea Player of the Year, 3, 2004, 2005, 2009, PFA Premier League Team of the Year, 3, 2004, 2005, 2006, Premier League, 2004-05 Barclays Merit Award, for 164 consecutive appearances, ESM Team of the Year, 3, 2004-05, 2005-06, 2009-10, FWA Tribute Award, 2010, Premier League Leader in Top Assists. 2004-05, 16 assists, 2009-10, 17 assists, 2004-05, 16 assists, 2009-10, 17 assists, FA Cup Final Man of the Match, 1, 2007, UEFA Europa League Final Man of the Match, 1, 2013, FA Cup, Best Player, 2006-07, 2008-09, 2009-10, Premier League, Midfielder with the most goals, 170 goals, Goal of the Month, April 2010.
Top scorer.
2006-07 FA Cup, 6 goals, Chelsea FC, 4, 2004-05, 2005-06, 2007-08, 2011-12, Chelsea FC. All-time top scorer, 211 goals.